Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage for the third season NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fixed Series. This evening we're excited to bring you top split action for the weekly strength of field race for the virtual Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince, alongside with booth once more for tonight's action. It's ARCA Menard Series racer Braden Laster, Noah Rempel, working control as our producer using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Tonight we're on iRacing and Maconi Entertainment, set for the first road course race of Season 2 for 2024 when it comes to the official schedule. And today, we look to get a little bit weird in Austin.
Let's see the schedule on the screen. Only week 2, and we're already shaking things up. Much different from last week at Bristol, and next week go to Chicago, land in Martinsville right after that. Talladega in a couple weeks, Darlington, North Wilkesboro. A lot of good opportunities for guys to make up points, because I'm sure a lot of them are not looking forward to this race here.
These drivers currently in the midst of preparing for this road course race, a long and technical course, by far longest course on the schedule this season. With that in mind, what are the expectations when it comes to these trucks tonight?
Yeah, these trucks are a handful to get around here. Dakota coming in at 20 corners or 20 turns they have to navigate, about 3.42 miles in length. Definitely one of the longest circuits, not only that we go to this season, but the C Fixed Series goes to in general. And having that many corners definitely allows you a lot of passing opportunities. But if you aren't really that experienced, then you're going to have a lot of time learning the corners, trying to make up time, and guys just pull away from you with ease.
And these drivers are getting ready for what's expected to be an overcast day in the sim. Right now, the forecast for those curious, 0% chance of rain. Entering tonight, Jack Mace, the points leader, along with Jay Bogue, Kyle Ager, along with Jonathan Bell. Bo Griffin Jr. also entered the week inside the top 5, although others, such as Raja Karuf, shot up inside the top 5 after recent races to start the week. This week, though, expect a lot of different road winners. That includes, no surprise, William Esports racer in the Coke Series and in Porsche Taycan Esports competition, Parker White, Scott List Rambler. You also throw in the now NASCAR Euro Series full-time racer Ryan Vargas. Also expected to race tonight, another Coke driver in Dylan Alt from Letard Esports.
Yeah, the talent levels vary from, we got guys with 1,400 IR ratings to Parker White, who's, like you just mentioned it, a pro with over 10,000 IR rating on the road side as far as sports cars go. You got Vargas, too, pointed out, real-life driver, has competed at this track real-life in the Xfinity Series with JD Motorsports back in 2022, 2021, around there. He got 30th back then. Then you got a handful of guys coming out here having fun. Jeff Maconi, he's not really one to look at as a road course ringer. He's on about 1,500 IR rating, but he's out here having a good time. He's looking forward to hopefully having a clean finish, and that's going to be the name of the game. It's bringing the truck home in one piece.
Now keep in mind, for a race like this tonight, no surprise, the S.O.F is below 2,000, with it being a road course race in stock cars / stock trucks. But it's an art form when you consider it, because it's challenging, it's tough, it's not normally what you expect. You also have people trying to make sure they hold on to it, like we've seen Dylan Alt fail to into the wall moments ago. Others try to channel their inner Boris Said.
Yeah, one thing that's super tricky about these races here, official races on a road course, is there's no cautions. And tonight's race is going to go very, very quick, coming in at about 12 minutes. So it only actually take 12 minutes, 12 laps. So it only take about 30-ish minutes. So it's going to be one of the shorter races on the schedule. But that means if you make a single mistake, you have almost no time to be able to recoup and get your things back together.
Currently keeping an eye on some of the final times. And yes, you are reading that right on the pylon. Parker White, 3/10 up in the qualifying session, already done their respective session. The 60 machine on track is the 18 in sim, Robert Sheriff. Looking to see, no, it's a 226, so bottom of the board for the Boris Said truck. The other drivers currently in the midst of qualifying, just about everybody, but a lot of them are asking the same question. How do you beat the #1 truck who not only built his teeth and built his skill set in C Fixed as a whole, but has turned into an even better road course racer?
I don't think there's really any way they can go out here and just flat out beat Parker White, especially if you've got, some talent throughout the field, but not a whole lot of them really set a lap. Dylan Alt was one driver we expected to come in here, the second ranked driver based on iRating. You thought he'd be the only one to really be able to contend with Parker White, but has to start way in the back and pass 19 trucks before he even considers getting up there to Parker. So Parker White, too, won the last split and has been dominating all week with the C Fixed Series. So it's going to be a fun race to see. And I think minus a large mistake or someone making a mistake and taking out Parker, he's going to be very hard to beat.
Let's take a look at your starting grid here tonight as we get set from Texas. On the pole tonight, it's 17-year-old Parker White. He'll start alongside Scott Rambler. Jacob Denny's in row 2 alongside now Euro NASCAR competitor Ryan Vargas. You also have inside the top 5 tonight the number 23 of Alex Relling. Then it's Charles Wimbley in the 6th position. Johnny Wynn starts off in 7th alongside Brendan Harris. Jeff Kemp from New York region 9th. And in the top 10, it's Jeff Maconi.
Got JB Brucker also joining us from across the sea in 11th. Matthew Samuel in 12th. Brandon Parks 13th. Aiden Reed 14th. Benjamin Forster, a C Fixed regular. Actually, I don't think he's on the grid. I believe he had connections his last week as well. So he's supposed to be starting 15th, not on the grid yet. Christopher Reyes in 16th. Matthew Maurice in 17th. Anthony Rotolo 18th. Robert Scherf in 19th. Last one to set a time, Robert wasn't. Dylan Alt, Travis Watt, Roland Holt, and Andrew Allen going around out their field in 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. All 4 electing to not set a time. That might have not been intentional, might have been able to set an actual time to the track limits.
So the drivers get set to go for tonight. Let's take a look at your race analysis brought to you by Maconi Setup Shop as we prepare for tonight's festivities. Reminder today, as you see on screen once more, the distance 12 laps, just 12. But remember, each lap is about 2.5 minutes on the average once the fall kicks in, and depending on off tracks. No fast repairs available, not expecting any caution flags. And drivers will have to serve a drive-through if they receive 17 incident points. 25 is disqualification. That is a realistic chance with it being a road course here today. Not expecting anybody to use the extra tire sets in the pit lane either. There's 2 available if necessary. So we've already talked a little bit about some of the expectations tonight. We know the front runner in terms of what we're about to see on this overcast racetrack and this fairly cool racetrack. The big question is, what's it going to take to get to victory lane in the end, Braden?
I think just keeping it on course. This is a track where off track can definitely hurt you. Only 17 before you have to get a penalty, like you just mentioned. That can really, really hurt you, especially going through the S's here to see them on their pace lap on your screen. Very tight, very tricky, especially going 2 or 3 wide here. It's easy to go off course and get an incident point, and those start to rack up over time. You barely have any wiggle room, about 1 lap, and that's if lap, barring any contact with any other driver. So you gotta watch this off track. You gotta be able to keep it going straight. Damage isn't really a huge deal here as long as you're not underpowered per se. And even that, I still don't think it can beat Parker White.
Just about all set to go from this 3.43 mile facility here in Austin, Texas. Parker White set to take the field to the green flag today. He'll start on the left side, entering the hard to break into turn 1. Scott Rambler, one of the top drivers from the league scene, will start alongside for today's festivities. Again, glad to have you with us. Maconi Setup Shop C Fixed action here on iRacing and Maconi Entertainment. Parker White is already well and gone as the green flag flies. We're underway from Austin, Texas.
The green just now came out, already having a huge lead going into turn 1. Hard braking zone. They're going to go from about 140 all the way down to about 40 miles an hour here, maybe even in their 30s. Rambler, though, going wide outside 1, able to stay in second. He's got Ryan Vargas, so hard charging behind him.
Already some side-by-side starting to form up amongst the top 10, including Johnny Wynn. Trying to battle with Braden Harris, you see back there. Parker White leads them to the S's. We already talked about the big advantage in the qualifying run. He's been putting that up in race trim as well as the tires have heated up. A lot of the others are still slippy-slidey, trying to sort out where to go in the midst of the first sector towards Sector 2.
Yeah, the best way to pass here, just follow someone and pressure them into making a mistake. No need to go 2 or 3 wide, especially through the S's. You still got a lot of racing left, but Parker White has checked out, said side nor have a good time, send my tactics through the mail. He is way ahead of Ram there already.
Already that gap up to near a couple seconds. Now the 7 machine, you're keeping an eye on, trying to deep send that JB Brucker. Nearly getting up to Jeff Maconi. Couldn't get so, though, in the battle for the top 10 early going. This is one of the best opportunities today to pass. The back straightaway. Lots of chances to send it up the inside. Ryan Vargas able to make the pass down the straight for third, but a crossover for Denny. The 9 machine pitches back. Vargas off the track.
Vargas going wide there in turn 12, going to go through 13 right-hander followed by another right-hander. This is a good opportunity to pass. We're side-by-side entering the corner, but they're going to lose it there. He's got Jacob Denny on the inside, able to carry the momentum. Vargas now going to slide. That's actually going to benefit him, give him the spot. Now they have another right-hander coming up. That's going to be turn 17 and 18. Denny with the advantage. Vargas though still loose. Going to fade back here. Maybe lose another spot as well to Charles Wimberly.
Already trying to hold back defensively, though. Vargas, pinch off Wimberly. They'll hold on to that 4th position. Wimberly already up several positions, looking to go +3 by the end of the lap alone. It looks like Vargas will give him the respect and the space, but Vargas has the run off the corner. Now, as we complete the first lap of 12 today, the lead already a 1.5 seconds, by the way, for Parker White. One of the drivers to keep an eye on towards the back is up 8. Dylan Alt, Letard Esports, keep an eye on the 2 truck. He's a driver in the league scene 2. We have to watch through the pack today. He's in 12th already.
Yeah, you just see him going through the corners, especially turn 1. He does it a lot smoother than anybody around him. We talked about he was the 2nd highest iRating ranked driver, so the 2nd highest skill ranked driver coming into the night behind Parker White. Elected to not set a qualifying lap. I don't think that was intentional. Maybe it was, who knows, but single off track here definitely going to hurt you and easily working his way through the field so far, Dylan Alt.
That's the replay for Matthew Samuel. He was the number 3 truck coming in. He's now dead last after getting spun around in Sector 3. So keeping an eye on the rest of these drivers as they zip around the circuit. Munstle's keeping an eye on that blue truck, trying to keep the pass on. Once again, on the move is Johnny to win. Slowly trying to battle it out with Alex Relling. 3 wide behind him. Look at this. Dylan Alt wants to go everywhere. Brandon Parks goes wide, and Alt takes them all.
Parks was the one that actually got into Samuel, spun him last time through the same sector, almost the identical spot, made the same move, locked him up, and he's going to lose a ton of spots here. That's JB Brucker going through, Maconi and Dylan Alt passing all 3 or 4 of those guys, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Take a look at this. It was 3 wide near contact several times in the first place. The 7 had to back out of it. Then someone else says, you know what, I want to go here.
That was Parks, and just went a little too hard on the brakes, and lost every single spot there.
There's called licking the stamp, and then there's sending to the mailbox, as well known that can happen here. That was sending it to the mailbox that time. 7 machine still slipping back in Brucker. So Dylan Alt making it clear he wants to make up for lost time after not qualifying, seeing how far he can get. Already up 10 spots, about half the spots he can get through the field. Tonight he's running with that eNASCAR College iRacing Series paint scheme that ran just last night. Sacramento State student already is in range to try and attack Harris and Kemp in the next lap.
Now, Alt is the first driver to not be starting inside the top 10, to move inside the top 10. So you had JB Brucker and those guys that started 11th, and some guys like Samuel, who had the accident turn 1 lap, or not turn 1, but lap 1, started right outside the top 10. They weren't able to really make a whole lot of moves and get in there. Alt's already, though, up 10 inside the top 10. And on the offense, Brandon Harris, he's moving his way up to Jeff Kemp. And ton of guys are starting to kind of sweat because Dylan Alt is easily moving his way through the field. See him just tackle those S's like they're no problem, like they're almost not even there. Got Brandon Harris in front of him, really struggling, though, loose coming out of the corner. It's going to allow Alt to close up even more.
Again, he seemed very dialed in on the flow. He's nearly running over Harris, in fact. Harris has a problem, and Alt says, no problem, as Harris nearly spun it out trying to hold him back.
That's going to the world famous crossover move, as we like to say in oval racing, very common here at COTA, able to get a better line or better drive off, not running the same line, and kind of do a switchback going in the corner or coming out. See the battle there, that's Jeffrey Maconi, 12 in Sim 03 on your screen. That's JB Brucker. These two have been going at it basically since the green flag dropped, and Brandon Park, little ways behind him, has closed up, falling back, closed up, falling back, but Brucker and Maconi have been going at it, though, for the past 2-3 laps. And one thing we didn't talk about here a little bit, tire wear is not a huge deal. You're not going to come down and take a new set, but the longer you're able to maintain your tires and not just spinning out every single corner, obviously, the better race you're going to have.
Yeah, good point, especially with what we've seen fall-off-wise here being near the couple seconds on the usual average. Dylan, meanwhile, passes by the technical issue truck of Jeff Kemp and already to 8th. And keep in mind, Dylan, we've already talked about this a little bit with the eNASCAR experience this year running with Latarn Esports in the 36 machine in that respective series. Had an interesting race, to say the very least, in Atlanta. Last time is getting ready for Richmond in about a week's time. You can kind of make some comparisons short track to braking a little bit, but sometimes you just want to have fun, like Dylan.
Yeah, going out here having fun. It's definitely easy to do on iRacing. It's definitely having a lot of fun. It's almost like he's on fresher tires compared to the rest of the field, which he's clearly not. But this is probably one of the more fun moments. You're just this much faster, purely on pace than the rest of the field. And it's almost like you're playing the NASCAR 2003, and you have the AI set on easy mode. That's why I'm sure Dylan Alt's thinking in his head right now is he's easily caught up to Johnny Nguyen for 7th, and actually about to pass him, and he's got Alex Reeling, who's really struggling in front of him in the S's, going off track. He got some pretty good air hitting the turtles there, so Dylan Alt cruising through the top 10 that can hot knife and butter.
Air pass done, and to put a bit of a bow on that point, he's had a rough time in Coke. He's having a very easy time here. He's always been solid in the trucks. Good flow to make the pass without contact with the pink and black machine. But other drivers are having some moments. Let's see towards the back of the field. This is Robert Scherf. We kept it on him in qualifying. The last place qualifier spins it out.
Doing all, I could just got, I don't think any damage, but had to check up a lot more than I wanted to. The Alex Ruling. Ruling went wide in about turn 15 there, that sharp left-hander for the final section of the track. And I don't think Dylan expected him to give him the spot, and that forced him to check up a lot more than he wanted to, and able to let him go on by. But here comes Alex once again, trying to fight for the position, but is going to concede and let Dylan take it.
Still keeping an eye on the battle for 11 on screen, though. And when it comes to road course races like this, we've seen over the years, even after a few laps, you have groupings of drivers just stick together the whole race. Maconi and Brucker seem to be that pairing today.
You can say that they're roommates.
I'm not sure what you're trying to reference in this case. But they are battle mates.
They were roommates, Justin. They're roommates. Anyways, Dylan Alt, though, we talked about having someone be able to go up here and try to fight Parker White. So far, the best chance of that is Scott Randler. He started second, running second, got a podium in actually the last split. But he's a driver not very common, I guess, on the official side as far as, Road to Pro or C Fixed or anything like that goes. Very popular and very common on the league side, especially open wheel, IndyCar, stock car. He runs everything and anything. And he's typically competitive, very competitive in almost anything and everything he runs. So he's been able to pull up a little buffer to third place with Jacob Denny. Still about 7 seconds back from Parker White, but he's the only one that's been within a second and a half, 2 seconds maybe to Parker White as far as being able to get right behind him. Dylan Alt, though, a tad bit quicker than Rambler, but he's got to make up about 7 seconds before he can get there.
And keep in mind, he has competed in some big events and done well with them, too. We've seen him at tracks like COTA, take part in various actions like this. ERA, I should come to mind, for example, comes to the mind where he was amongst those who did solid. He can get a rhythm down. It's just hard when your biggest competition is the highest I rating by at least 8,000 in the field, as Parker White is currently up by, 8.5 seconds in less than 4 laps. It's a walk in the park.
I think he's got cruise control and is going 65 down the interstate. But one thing, too, is we've never really seen how fast Dylan Alt can go. He's still turning in very competitive times. Those on par with Ramler. All of a sudden, remember, Ramler's got a clear track by himself. Alt has been navigating through traffic every single corner, basically, the last 5.5 laps here. So hopefully, the next couple laps, as he's getting ready to pick off Ryan Vargas as his next target, he should be able to set down decently competitive time, and we'll see. I don't think he's going to have anything to catch Parker White. He might catch Scott Ramler, but I think he's definitely going to get a top 3 run here.
Keeping an eye on some of the other battles because Brucker's battle pack nearly got broken up by Harris with his slide back. Maconi already making the pass as well. So Harris's tires are starting to fall back after that little drift we've seen moments ago. Brandon Parks is also starting to lose a lot of time. This is exactly what you're talking about. We're almost at halfway, and some of these drivers are dirt tracking it.
Yeah, definitely not a track. We dirt track. You see there, we got one spinning around.
Spin around. That's contact with Matthew Maurice getting spun around to the heart of the corner. Through the arena section goes the 20. To the back of the field goes the Silver Machine. Let's take a look.
Contact with Anthony Rotolo. He's going through that sharp right-hander. Every inch matters there. And Rotolo runs him wide. Matthew not too happy a little bit. Actually might have had help from behind. I don't think.
Yeah, couldn't really tell, but I will say he said thanks on the radio. So somebody gave him help.
That was Andrew Allen behind him. There might have been a little bit of contact looking at it now.
Yep.
But yep, there it is. It's Andrew Allen in the 22. Lowest ranked driver coming in here, I believe. Actually, second lowest ranked driver. So, yeah. Not too happy.
Still keeping an eye on Alt on his progression through. Is already making the pass for 4th. Vargas just lets him on by. It's about 15 seconds back the race leader. Now, getting confidence down could be pretty critical for a driver like Alt because he talked about going into Atlanta. He needed points. He needed to do well. He didn't get the points at Atlanta. He's 38th in the Coke standings entering Richmond.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good point to gain for him. See some guys blinking there. I do want to go and take a moment to answer some comments. We have people asking how they can join this series, JP. This is the top split action of C Fixed Maconi Setup Shop series. So this isn't a regular hosted. This isn't a league. This is anyone who happens to be a high enough I rating to be in the top split for this time slot, 7:15 p.m. EST on Wednesday nights. We do this every week as far as the official season goes. So for those asking how to join, just be a high enough I rating.
And if you're newer to the road course scene, this was the perfect week for you to get into Top Split. If you were wanting to get into Top Split. Now, if you're wanting to race in general on the platform, well, here's what iRacing is. We reached the halfway point. It's relied on as a training tool by countless professional drivers. It's also unrivaled as a racing simulator because its creators have managed to capture every last car and track detail, such as the one here in Austin, and recreate them in a package that perfectly encapsulates the feeling of being behind the wheel of a race car, pushing its mechanical limits on courses designed to test each and every one of these drivers, and the industry agrees. To learn more, go to iRacing.com to set up and sign up and become a member today. Here's a look at Ryan Vargas. He's now in a fierce battle for 4th, and one thing he's been doing in the midst of battling with Denny, he's been better on the brakes, almost too good, nearly slamming the back of the 9 now 3 times in this first half of the race.
Yeah, definitely getting a little aggressive there. Not afraid to use that front bumper. We talked about Vargas is one of the drivers that come in, has a real-life race here in the Xfinity Series, running the full year on NASCAR season with 3F Racing, which is a primarily road course league, or I'm sorry, series. It's not a league, we can call it league, but it's a real deal. So he's going over there in Europe and showing his guys how it's done, how we do America over here. So Vargas, one of the guys to kind of transition over there to the Euro NASCAR scene.
Yeah, especially with the connections with 3F Racing, we've heard a lot of discussion in terms of that team and excitement. He's had some solid runs, too, since going over there, and somebody just went sliding stage right. That was Charles Wembley way off the track and already towing as others look to battle in that same section. What just happened in the braking zone in turn 12? Well, this.
See it, no contact, no help needed. Just locked him up, spun around. She's like, see you guys, I'm gonna get some dinner. And toes on out.
Yep, already in the pit lane. Robert Sheriff is so far the only driver to park it officially, but we might have a second with this tow. So easy to do when you're sending it deep like this.
Yeah, it's nothing you can really do there. You miss the apex already, so you know it's going to be a bad corner. And spinning out, definitely the last thing you want to do. We're going to go back to the battle here with Ryan Vargas and Jacob Denny. They're going at it for fourth here. They're going to be dead nuts, even though crossing the line. Give it to Denny that last lap. Barely. Vargas are going to have a good opportunity going into turn one. Hard braking zone has an inside advantage. Not necessarily an advantage you want to have here, because now the crossover by Denny allow him to get the outside and be able to get a better entry going through the S's. Going through the S's is not a part of the track. You want to be side by side, but they're going to figure it out and try and make it work anyways.
Still trying to make it work, though. The youngster from USAC Racing, Denny, getting a little bit aggressive still with Vargas. Still trading lots and lots of pain in the midst of the back and forth. The rear-wheel dirt midget racer trying to play defense on the rear-wheel stock car racer.
Still going at it, bumper to bumper. Vargas conceding the spot for now. Going to use the right-hander, sharp left-hander, right back at it. Make up some ground. And then he's going to be able to pull away, going on the backstretch section of the track maybe.
Good chance for a dive if they were able to build it up through turn 12 yet again. This is one of your closest battles of the racetrack still. Vargas yet again yeeting the back end of Denny. And it seems Vargas can have a lot more confidence in the braking zones. Now it's the matter, though, of getting that corner exit speed that seems to be opening the door for drivers like Denny.
Yeah, Denny seems to be getting a little bit loose, not quite confident with the rear end of his race truck, and kind of wash out. See it there, middle of the corner gets loose, kind of washes out now, but get the exit he wants, and Vargas closes up and takes advantage here. But it's very hard to pass in this section of the racetrack, and it's just in a dive bomb just like that. Using the bumper, go ahead and clear himself now. Here comes Dino, going to pull a switch back. Vargas hard on the defense, pinching him off, no problem though for Denny. Squeezes Vargas up the racetrack. They're side by side like it's last lap. We're just now coming to 4 to go.
This is some incredible racing between these two. Back and forth battling still. Vargas in his 20s. As mentioned, Denny, just 16 years old, originally from Galway, Ohio. Just a few months ago, was amongst those who was able to get towards the preliminary A mains for the Chili Bowl. Today, looking solid in this race, looking for at least a 4th place run in this S.O.F. race.
Something about dirt guys and being able to run road courses. I don't know if it's turn left to go right thing, but it seems to be a common factor in stock car racing, it seems.
What's going on meanwhile at the back? The 19 having some troubles. Good respect showcase, though, by the 7 of Brucker, not electing to send it and turn him.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to make a move there when they open the door up like that. Vargas able to pull away, not by much, only about 5 or 6 truck lengths. Maybe Denny burned up his tires going too hard to the defense. You see one, though, getting real loosey goose on the screen. That's Matthew Samuel. We talked about him a little bit. Not the greatest start of runs to him. We have officially lost Charles Wembley, I will say. He has disconnected. He's going to go get a hot dog, I'm assuming.
So we already have a couple DNFs as this race has gone on. Coming up towards 3 laps to go. That's how quickly the race has gone as we look for the S's. Still no true chance yet for the battle back in this grouping. It's been some intriguing driving, though, in the S's because it's been one of the better setup spots because it's such a rhythmatic portion of the circuit, and a lot of drivers have struggled to get the right line and rhythm down.
Well, especially through the S's, there's a lot of series of corners in this track that are back to back to back to back. Where if you mess up that first one, it's hard to position yourself for the second one, and it's a snake effect that repeats itself down the road. And that whole section you mess up, and you miss 3 or 4 corners like that, and you lose about a second and a half a lap very easily. So you gotta be perfect almost every single time. One small mistake can easily magnify into a whole series of mistakes that sets you off. And you do that lap after lap after lap, and you're going quickly lose a ton of time to guys around you.
Side by side, as you see, coming into turn 12 yet again amongst those two, by the way. Brucker saying, you know what? I've got the run. I've got to go. Only a couple laps to go, I should say. This is the time you have to do it. Don't spin it, though, at this time. He nearly sends the one in gold truck all the way around, and the 19 says, let's go back inside, shall we, for the arena.
Yeah, Brandon Harris in the 19 using the crossover, switchover, getting a bit loose. So these tires for almost everyone are really struggling at this point to find grip, especially rear grip. These guys have been hard on the throttle the entire race and the entire run, coming up to about 10 laps or so into it. Brandon Harris, though, absolutely hard on the inside, trying to make a move, get around JB Brucker, but just not able to do so.
Now we're side by side, though, entering towards the pit straight. Harris does not want to give this up. This is still mid-pack. Here's the thing. In the case for Brucker, if he wants to gain I rating or at least equalize, he needs this spot. Harris, if he wants a good gain from this one, he needs to hold on to said spot. Here comes the send again. Nothing you can do through turn one except wait for the S's for the exit now. Brucker trying to give some space just in case, though. This might open the door again.
The person really going to benefit from all this, Christopher Reyes, is that third truck right behind them. There goes Harris around the outside through the SS. Brucker made a mistake, and we talked about how one small mistake can definitely multiply throughout the whole series of corners, especially through part of the track like the S's. Harris doing exactly that to get around Brucker. Now he's getting loose going wide in the corner, and that has allowed Reyes to close up right in the back bumper of Brucker. We got a three-truck battle here going for 11th.
White and green truck trying to figure out, is there a way to be able to sneak away a spot? Reyes has been quietly running to the back half of the field all day. At least showed the nose, but no chance on the lunge this time, coming in through turn 11. Coming around the 2 laps to go this time by as well, keep in mind, so not a lot more chances to go. Brucker might need another few corners at least to set it up unless he can pressurize a mistake with how far back he is for 12.
Especially with how hot these tires are getting, rear grip is a luxury you'd love to have. Brucker, though, going to send on the inside, locks him up. That's not what you want to do, especially this late in the race. It's going to allow Harris to pull away a little bit further than he had. 2 sets of right-handers here. Brucker not really getting a great entry. It's going to hurt his exit. Really loosey-goosey. They're losing that rear grip. Parker White, though, continuing to lead. And Dylan Alt has closed up to Scott Ramler. He's not quite there, but he's just within a couple of seconds.
So a lot of battles to keep an eye on for the final couple laps here from Austin. An interesting one for the mid-pack, especially when it comes to the racing today. Still keep an eye on that battle for 11th on back with how tight it's been this entire race today. And if anybody makes a mistake, Benjamin Forrester, who claimed before the race that, oh, by the way, I'm out of control and just trying to keep it safe, he might sneak a couple spots if they come to blows up there.
Yeah, definitely one of the easier cars to pass on track. It's one in the grass or one in the garage. So Harris continues to kind of have an advantage over Brucker and Reyes for this battle for 11th, 3 or 4 tenths that last time by. Dylan Alt, though, is just a corner or two away from catching the Scott Ram. I think he's going to catch him on the last lap. If given the opportunity to see that gap, it's definitely closer. The last time by, Alt was about 6-7 tenths quicker. And the laps before that was around a second or so quicker. So Ram just kind of found some speed when he needs it most, maybe saving a little bit. But Parker White has established over a 17-second lead. So minus anything crazier than an asteroid being added to iRacing hitting his truck, I think it's going to be Parker White's race to win.
See the replay, though, because turn 1 for anybody can catch drivers off. This is just so happens to be a paint scheme content paint match for Travis Watt with the lockup. So Watt, running 19th, had a slight mistake. Everybody else has kept it relatively clean. Same for the battle for 4th. It's calmed down with Denny trying to play behind Vargas. No major lunges for the past little bit. Those lunges expect to happen for 2nd on back, though, pretty soon, because Ramler and Alt within 5 truck lanes just up the road from these two. Way up the road, white flag already out. Parker White is taking the final lap right now. Final 3+ miles from Texas.
Yeah, Parker's put on cruise control, turn the ignition off, and just coast from here if he wanted to. Dylan Alt, though, is probably closer to Scott Ram than he's been or anyone all race. He's going to have to find a ton of speed, though, this last corner if he wants to shot. Ram's going to have to make a mistake. Gap just over a second.
All off for these drivers. Already 4 seconds for a couple of these drivers, especially Parker White and Dylan Alt. But Alt last time by was 1.4 seconds quicker. He's 1.2 seconds behind Rambler. He's going to need to be picture perfect if he wants to get alongside of the final lap.
Best opportunity will probably be down the backstretch or coming through the final corner. If you can get there, force Rambler to make a rare mistake, like I just mentioned, very rarely does. Alt, though, absolutely attacking the S's with every ounce of track real estate he can get without going over. He's trying to find any time at all to catch the back bumper of Rambler.
It's in within nearly a second now, just out of drafting range. In fact, may have got a whiff of it. It's going to be difficult, though. His best opportunities he and Alt are coming away. Much better braking with the brake bias differential as there's a drift. Alt perfect on exit. Can he find a way to get to the doorstep by the end of the arena section and do something?
He's going to have to find someone, find it quick. He's got a hard braking zone here. He's going to allow perfect opportunity to close up, not make the pass, but make up that much needed real estate. Set him up maybe for a pass in 18 or 19 or maybe 20. But Rambler going to go wide low. It's going to allow Alt to really close up. This battle's heating up.
The race leader coming to the final quarter. Second is now wide open. Dylan Alt trying to make a lunge for the second step of the podium. All well. Final corner set up for Parker White. Outright domination from one of the top drivers in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series this season. Parker White, also known for strong skills with Williams all throughout the road course scene. Today, he dominates the S.O.F race. Your winner at COTA, Parker White. Parker White does it by nearly 20 seconds. Second place is still open. Dylan Alt still has not found a way around Rambler. He has one more chance to send it. Does Alt risk it? No, he doesn't. Rambler slides. Rambler keeps it. Alt pushes, but it's Rambler in second.
All about spinning out, coming out of turn 20 there. Going to bring home third. Definitely the biggest mover in one of the more challenging races, I'm sure, for him. Up 17 spots to go from last to third.
Some interesting runs today from many throughout this field. Ryan Vargas did hold on to fourth in front of Denny. Others not done yet. Relling trying to get a little bit of contact down. That with Jeff Kemp. And in the end, Kemp able to hold on. He had been dealing with technical issues the whole race. Brandon Harris. Now he plays defense for one final set of corners. No major lunge this time. So Reyes just watches the whole time and is able to finish just behind the doorstep. Brucker did drop in the final lap.
Couple guys that are still trying to work their way through. We do have a battle going on for 17th between, not Matthew Sam, between Anthony Rotolo and Travis Watt. These two, even though they were some of the last trucks running, are still sending it. Travis Watt there in that number 13, actually going to get the spot coming out 20, drifts up, loses it. Anthony Rotolo going still and hang on to it. A little over a 10th. The finish for 18th and 19th there. That's Anthony Rotolo and Travis Watt. Watt had it coming out turn 20 and kind of lost it.
An exciting run as let's take a quick step aside. When we come back, post-race coverage, you're watching iRacing and Maconi Entertainment from Texas.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Coda. As a lot to discuss after tonight's C Fixed S.O.F race here on iRacing and Maconi Entertainment. We mentioned at least one position change happened because of some of the attrition on the final lap. Why don't we take a look at some of the things that built up in the next moment or so, because there were a lot of slides right on the money lap, as some would call it. First things first, why not a slide job and a dive to be able to try and make a move? Once again, we've seen Braden, that doesn't work.
No, not at all.
But also, towards the back, this was one of the drivers on the final lap that had some issues, but also bigger, the 7 did lose a spot we mentioned. We will see in the next moment. Here's the reason we're seeing the second replay, this dive.
Turn 1's a spot we see a lot of contact all race, and why not round out the final lap or the start of the final lap with some more contact?
That was the contact from one of the drivers towards the end, making the battle in Rotolo. But as that ended up sparking a bit of a parking lot moment, others got a little bit dicey. This was that battle that we started to see on the last lap, especially for one of the final spots. It nearly didn't happen.
Got a lot of tight battles all around. A couple guys doing a real good job to make their way around and not T-bone the traffic standing, and that's definitely not a way to want to end the race.
Now, the reason Rotolo had the battle in this situation is this. That's a way to do it. He didn't go off track, Braden, but he did lose time. As
not ideal.
And yet again, our first driver had a second situation. It was not a good final lap for the Darrell Waltrip throwback.
No, not one bit. A lot of guys are bringing it home cleanly for the most part. No crazy incidents. Wembley and sure for the only 2 DNFs. Everyone though finishes on the lead lap though.
Let's take a look at your race results again. With it being an official race, everything is officialized now in the sim. Parker White, well, he won the last split by 20 seconds. He won this one by 20 seconds. Scottless Ramler finished second, held off Dylan Alt for the final lap. Ryan Vargas held up Jacob Denny and held him off to the checker flag to round up the top 5. Jeff Kemp, Alex Relling, then Johnny DeWin along with Jeff Maconi, and Brandon Parks did make his way to the top 10 after being in 13th most of the day.
Then they're going to have Brandon Harris 11th, Reyes 12th, Brucker 13th. We talked about him quite a bit. Forster in 15th. Aiden Reed and Matthew Samuel going to be 15th and 16th. Andrew Allen 17th. Anthony Rotolo, talked about him. Not a great series of laps for him towards the end. 18th, Travis Watt in 19th. Matthew Maurice in 20th. And last car on the lead lap. 21 drivers do finish and take the checkered flag all on the lead lap. That's going to be Roland Holt, 21st, rounding out the field. And then Wembley and Sheriff, we talked about a minute ago, your 2 DNFs for tonight.
So we talked about them at your official race results in session for tonight's Top Split Racing. Let's first talk things over with some of the podium runners. We have several standing on by, including Scottless Rambler. Scott held on to second the entire way, but it was pressure-filled towards the very end. What was going through your mind as you seen Dylan Alt catch about 1.4 seconds a lap until that final one?
Make myself as wide as possible, make as few mistakes as possible, and be able to say that I finished second to a pro for the second time today.
Well, that being said, when was the first time and how?
It was actually the race right before this one. I had gotten in, watched Parker do what he does, and tried to pick up a couple of things after watching the replay to see how he was saving tires and how he was maintaining his pace. And I figured, what's the point in going over the film if I'm not going to try it? So I joined this race to give it a shot, not knowing it was going to be broadcasted.
I mean, you have a good tradition of running well in league races and bigger races at Circuit Americas. What makes COTA tick for you?
It's just super technical. I've always been somebody that likes tracks that force you to apex late in the corner. It really forces you to be patient and really hone your finesse with the wheel of the race car. And watching Parker, I was like, he's got it down to like the millimeter. He knows exactly how fast he can go into every corner. He knows exactly what gear to be in. And I wanted to give it a shot, see if I could copy his style per se, which it worked. I beat my goal of not letting him beat me by 30 seconds, but 19 seconds, I'll say that's pretty good too.
Well, on that note, Scott, congratulations on the podium.
All right, thank you guys.
Scott List Rambler coming away in second spot tonight. In the third spot, we've seen Dylan Alt, but we do have fourth position standing on by. He's a familiar voice if you listen to some of the Coke broadcasts this season. He's also, as mentioned, running Euro NASCAR full-time this season. Let's catch up with Ryan Vargas. He's with Braden Lester.
Ryan, you bring it home fourth place tonight after a hard-fought battle with Jacob Denny, it seemed the entire race. Talk us through your one race tonight and what it was like trying to defend Dylan Alt for about a lap and a half, if you could.
Well, I just hopped into this race really to run practice for a league that I'm in coming up right now. I'm actually currently on track. But no, it's a good time, running these trucks around here. Had a lot of fun whipping the Critical Path Security Toyota Tundra around here. Ran in real life, so it's cool to kind of bring it back to the sim world, but had a really good battle with him there for third and then eventually fourth. And he was really aggressive trying to get by me early, so I let him go. I kind of pushed the envelope to try and make him drive harder, and he ended up burning his tires off, and I was able to capitalize with 3 or 4 to go. And then when Dylan caught me, I didn't even try. I literally keyed up. I said, "Go by. You're way faster than I am."
That's pretty much what it looked like on our screens. Dylan Alt was a man tough to beat. You talked about, though, running here in real life a couple of years ago on the Xfinity Series, and then you have your, of course, your truck scheme you ran in real life on sim. Talk about running the full year on NASCAR season and kind of how you use iRacing to prepare for that.
I did those 2 races last year in Germany and Belgium. Had a lot of fun just going over there, trying out, a totally new series and bringing, obviously bringing attention to the series, but also kind of using the platform that I have here in the States to, show off the Euro NASCAR platform. And it's a good time, man. It's a lot of fun. The racing is genuinely really good. All the cars are pretty equal, so, it blends itself to some pretty close-knit, bumper-to-bumper action. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time. And, with the help of Critical Path and 3F Racing, we were able to put a deal together, and now we're full-time over there.
We're glad to hear. Congratulations on your fourth place run tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's get Ryan Vargas coming away with the top 5 run tonight. And also, we have standing on by because he's very excited. After all, he shared a gift saying yippee with confetti. Jeff Maconi, you finished top 10. How was the truck this week?
It was surprisingly stable and good. That I've been running races all day trying to get my road rating up because I was like a 2200 and then I plummeted because I was like, I'll just run whatever, and having never run a GR86, I would just jump into races and I would get my butt kicked. Anyway, so I plummeted to a 1500, so I've been grinding all day trying to figure it out, and this track has been so slick all day. And today, this race finally put it together and had a decent run. So I am through the roof with finishing 9th. I realistically could have finished 7th or 8th if I really pushed it, but I didn't want to spin the truck out and look like an even bigger idiot than I usually do on Wednesday nights. So surprisingly, a road course is when I looked the most competent.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned in terms of the slickness of this racetrack, in terms of the feeling of the racetrack. How is that when it comes to trying to think about that on the mental side too? Because you're in a battle pack essentially with the same drivers for most of the race until you finally pull it away.
Right. You have to focus so much on yourself when you're running these. And it's so easy to get pulled into the bad habits that other drivers around you are doing. Like, for example, the 7 behind me would just send it so deep on the corners on me. And he would be like half a second back, and he would be door to door with me on entry, and then I would have to go wide and give plenty of room. And so I was tempted to start overdriving the entry as much as he was, but then I went and I pulled 10 seconds on him in the second half of the race because it just burnt his stuff right off. So you have to be so meticulous and consistent and disciplined to not overdrive the car, even if everyone else around you is, because you get in that really tight pack for the first 3 laps and you want to just blow all their doors off and dive bomb people and take advantage of every situation. But if you do, it will come back to bite you. Even in only a 12-lap race, you have to take care of the tires. Your rear tires will be at 80%, and if you can't drop it into first when you need to and get a lot of speed on corner exit, it will bite you and you'll lose a lot of ground. So even if that means earlier in the race you take a lot of the corners in second rather than first, you'll be so slow on exit. You'll feel like you're going through molasses. But when you need to drop it into first to get that pass going on corner exit before straightaway, you'll be very thankful you have the tires to do it.
Well, on that note, Jeff, once again, thank you very much for the time. Congratulations on the top 10.
Thank you. Got to thank everyone at Maconi Setup Shop. You guys here at Maconi Entertainment, you guys absolutely killed it, as usual, with the broadcast of Brucey Raceware, Victory Sim, the Sim Racer movie, WSMN Broadcasting, Around the Snack Guy, everyone that makes this happen. And a huge thank you, as always, to iRacing for hosting us on their channels. I hope everyone watching enjoyed it. I think it was a really, really entertaining race.
Once again, congratulations on the top 10.
Thank you.
That's Jeff Maconi. Rounding out the discussions, I'd like to thank him, as well as the rest of our drivers, for taking time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Again, brought to you by Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop of eNASCAR. Your final thoughts on tonight, Braden, as in the end, it's Parker White doing, well, Parker White things.
Yeah, Parker White pulling an absolute clinic. Nothing anyone can really do for him. But next week, Chicagoland, a favor for a lot of these guys. I'm sure the competition will be a lot more fierce.
We'll see how Chicagoland fares out. A 1.5-mile circuit. That should be an exciting one. Puts on some solid racing each week. Again, that broadcast seen on the 26th of March. Same time, 7:15 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, it's time to say goodbye. We'd like to thank Maconi Setup Shop as well as iRacing once more for hosting us on their Twitch and social media platforms. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside ARC Menard Series racer Braden Laster, Nolan Rample as producer. Thanks once more to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. We hope you stay tuned to all our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.